It's Friday, August 23rd, right now on 12 News at 10. Decision 2024 takes the stage in Arizona with former President Trump and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. both speaking in the Valley. We'll have a recap of tonight's events.
I'm Chase Golightly in Phoenix tonight. I spoke exclusively with the management group behind an apartment complex that hasn't provided proper AC to its tenants in months. When they say they'll get the problem fixed, we'll tell you coming up.
Storm chances going down for at least the Valley over the weekend, but we'll still have some moisture across eastern Arizona. The latest on the monsoon meter coming up.
And the search continues tonight for a Gilbert woman swept away by floodwaters in the Grand Canyon. We'll bring you the latest from Havasu Creek.
12 News at 10 with Mark Curtis and Caribe Divine starts now.
New tonight, it's a story that you'll see only on 12 News. Tenants at a Phoenix apartment complex who suffered for months without air conditioning now say that it's back on. Good evening and thanks so much for joining us for 12 News at 10. I'm Caribe Divine.
And I'm Troy Hayden. Mark's off tonight. For the first time, 12 News journalist Chase Golightly spoke exclusively with management about the situation and also the lawsuit they're now facing from Arizona's Attorney General. He has that story from Northwest Phoenix tonight. Chase.
Residents at the Buenos on 32nd apartment complex off Indian School Road and Grand Avenue all gathered outside for an event Friday afternoon. It was hosted by Buenos Communities LLC, the owners of the apartment. There was food, face painting, and raffle prizes, all to show their appreciation to tenants after not giving them AC for months.
We're thanking them for the patience, cooperation.
That's Stephen Hernandez, the general contractor for Buenos Communities LLC, which is currently in a legal battle with the Attorney General's office for not giving residents proper AC for 2 months. But Hernandez now says the problem has been solved.
The new chiller is actually already in place.
Residents say it's working.
Oh, it's awesome. The management here has really stepped up to the plate.
We went to a few apartments Friday and they all read below city code standards.
Do you think this all should have happened sooner?
Yes.
Heather Boyle said for those 2 months, living here was torture.
I have congestive heart failure, so I ended up at the doctor's office a lot.
While she's thankful they hosted this event, she doesn't think it's enough.
I mean, we almost lost 2 people due to the health conditions. It would have been so much better for a much bigger apology.
Do you think that you need to apologize to your tenants?
I believe so, yes. We could issue an apology to all the tenants. That's why we're currently, giving them a month back of rent. Or I believe somewhere along the lines, me personally, I don't know. That's something that's in the works, but I know there's going to be some appreciation and apologies given to our tenants.
The legal battle involving the Attorney General's office continues. I did ask Buenos Communities LLC and the AG's office for comment on the lawsuit. Both declined. We're in Phoenix. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
Yeah, so good they have their AC back on. Thank you, Chase. New tonight, a man is killed after being hit by a train while riding a bike. So this happened about 6 this evening in Sun City near 107th Avenue in Grand. The man was pronounced dead at the scene. 107th Avenue is still closed as that investigation continues tonight.
Tonight, rescue teams in the Grand Canyon continue searching for a Gilbert woman swept away during a powerful flash flood in Havasu Creek. Hundreds of hikers in that area are being told that the only way out will be by a helicopter. And new tonight, Governor Katie Hobbs has activated the National Guard to assist. 12 News journalist Kyle Simchuk has more on the search and rescue efforts.
Hikers and campers in Havasu Canyon scrambling to higher ground Thursday as violent flash floods tore through Havasu Creek. The turquoise waters people come here to see turned brown.
It went from beautiful to scary in about 45 minutes.
Gilbert resident Shanoa Nickerson and her husband were hiking in the canyon near the Colorado River confluence when they were swept away by the fast-moving flood. Nickerson's husband was rescued by a group of rafters. They couldn't find his 33-year-old wife.
The text message said to his dad that there was a flash flood, they were swept away, and that he was rescued by rafters and that Shanoa is missing.
Nickerson's brother speaking to 12 News as the family waits for answers.
We love her and we won't give up till we find her.
As crews continue to search for Nickerson, hundreds of stranded campers upstream are waiting on a helicopter ride.
And a lot of people having to do water crossings and making human chains to get people across the river. It was kind of scary.
Latricia Mims and her group are visiting from Mississippi. They heard thunder as they were setting up tents at the Havasupai campground, which the creek passes through.
I have a friend that's a ranger, and he had warned us that it's monsoon season. If we heard thunder, to head to high ground. So we actually left the campsite, made it to the hilltop before the flood hit.
They lost their clothes and tents, but they didn't lose their lives.
I was really proud of them for not panicking. We all got out really safe and quickly.
The group is now waiting for a seat on board a rescue helicopter. Mims says portions of the 10-mile trail connecting the campsite to the trailhead are impassable.
There's about 200 of us waiting to fly out, 5 at a time.
It's her 4th time to Havasu Canyon. Only this time she saw firsthand how quickly this paradise can turn into a nightmare. She remains hopeful that Nickerson will be found safe.
We're praying for them.
Kyle Simchuk, 12 News.
Wow. Now to your weather impact forecast, meteorologist Lindsay Riley. So we had those big storms hit mostly the East Valley, and you're saying it was that same system that caused that.
Yes, and we had a lot of flooding up north as well, so it wasn't just confined to the valley. Areas north of I-40, including the Grand Canyon area, saw a lot of rain with those storms yesterday. Now, as we head into the weekend, a lot of Arizona will see a fair amount of dry time. The wettest area of the state through the weekend will be the White Mountains and southeastern Arizona. We're left with just a few showers on radar east of the valley right now. We'll stay dry through the weekend around Phoenix. You can see a couple rain showers, everything below severe limits around Safford. We didn't really see much of any rainfall today in the Phoenix metro. Here's a look at our 12 News exclusive monsoon meter for tomorrow. And it is going to be an active day again, closer to the White Mountains and southeastern Arizona. That's where we have 5s on the monsoon meter. North of I-40, it's just an isolated chance, and a 0 in the valley in western Arizona means completely dry weather. So we will see some dry time this weekend. Temps are going to be above average. A closer look at that weekend forecast in just a few minutes. Kariba and Troy.
All right, looks like we'll get a little bit of a break this weekend. Thanks, Lindsay. Well, now to Decision 2024, a busy day here in the Valley as far as politics go. Former President Donald Trump speaking in Glendale following his trip to the border yesterday. Meanwhile, independent candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. making headlines of his own today. It all came full circle this afternoon at Desert Diamond Arena, where thousands showed up to support the former president. And
tonight, 12 News journalist Sean Rice gives us a recap of the day inside and outside that arena.
Let's go, Trump, baby! Yeah!
Spirits were high, even as the lines were long to get a coveted seat inside Donald Trump's Glendale rally.
I actually think he cares about the American people, and I don't get the same feeling from the Democrats.
His policies are the ones that are important. It's not about the man, it's about his policies.
Despite the glee to see Trump, several supporters fell ill from standing in the heat all day long. One woman was carried away in an ambulance after she was treated by fire crews.
It's sad to see so many people passing out.
Inside the arena, Trump received a jolt to his campaign when Robert F. Kennedy Jr. withdrew from the presidential race and threw his support behind the former president.
That by staying on the ballot in the battleground states, I would likely hand the election over to the Democrats.
On stage, Trump promised to reinstate many of his previous policies.
Together we will deliver low taxes, low regulations, low energy costs, low interest costs, low inflation. And that's for everyone. We're talking about everyone. We want to make sure everyone can afford groceries, a car, and a home.
And urged his supporters to re-elect him to a second term.
On November 5th, we will save our country. We will save our economy. We will rescue our middle class. We will reclaim our sovereignty and restore our borders. We will put America first.
Sean Rice, 12 News.
All right, Sean, thank you. And meanwhile, on the heels of Trump's rally today, we're fact-checking claims made by the former president during his speech. Here's 12 News journalist William Pitts.
We're fact-checking 3 claims from former President Trump's speech in Glendale.
She was the border czar. She presided over the worst border in history.
Was Kamala Harris the border czar in charge of the U.S. border? That's false. She was not. That's not a title she ever held. According to the executive order that created it, Harris was put in charge of a commission that looked at the root causes of immigration and restarting asylum claims. She was never in charge of U.S. border policy.
A little while ago, she changed, didn't she, huh? banning gas-powered cars.
Did the Biden-Harris administration ban gas-powered cars? No, that's false. This seems to come from an ad being run by an oil industry group against fuel economy standards. But those standards do not ban gas-powered cars. And of course, they're still for sale.
We wiped out ISIS very quickly. It was supposed to take 5 years to beat ISIS. I did it in 3 weeks.
ISIS was the Islamic State in the Middle East. The U.S. started military action against ISIS around 2014. Trump took office in 2017. In December of 2017, the Pentagon said 98% of ISIS territory had been liberated, and the last ISIS stronghold was declared free in 2019. That's 3 years later, not 3 weeks. William Pitts, 12 News.
For more stories like this one, including our fact check of Kamala Harris's acceptance speech at the DNC, just head over to 12news.com/verify. If there's something you'd like us to verify, send an email with your idea to verify@12news.com. A follow-up now on a story we've been following for months. An Arizona midwife who surrendered her license following the deaths of one of her clients and a newborn baby is now barred from working as a midwife for 20 years. A judge handed down that ruling today to Sarah Kankowitz. The Attorney General's office filed a complaint against her after she allegedly violated a settlement agreement, continuing to practice despite being forced to surrender her license. Back in December, Parker Terry lost his wife Jordan and their newborn son Mac following complications during a home birth under the care of Kankowitz. You can read more details on that case right now on 12news.com.